I applied for my internship online through LinkedIn, and oh my god, let me tell you, it was a pain in the ass. I used to live in a dorm, but then I moved out because working part-time jobs in China is illegal. Networking is so important because you don't know who. And oh my god, the amount of dialogue boxes that I have to fill in for the application, insane. I am not a native speaker of Chinese, but I can speak Chinese well enough to get my current internship. When you develop a business, right, and you want to expand into new, like, you can't be lying on your resume, girl. I should not get distracted. It is 10:30 right now and I haven't even started work, you know. I mean, I haven't even reached the cafe yet. Muji, one of my favorite stores ever. But I got no time for that. I'm finally at the cafe. This is the cafe. It's called Biko or Toku in Chinese. Don't ask me what that means, I have no idea. I'm also a foreigner. 两位，我先看看啊。对，我去2楼吧。你的大人个人看一下。哦，2楼只能从商场里上去吗？从外面？哦。上不去，从商场扶梯一上就能看到。哦，好的，谢谢。You can only go out from inside the mall and not from the first floor. Okay, I just arrived. This is one of my favorite cafes to just work at. So in China, they don't give you menu books or anything like that. Very rare. You just scan QR codes. I am starving. I really want to eat, man. I've tried their dessert before and it's so good. I am starving. I just paid. I got like a breakfast palette. Breakfast 什么早餐. Okay, so while we wait for our food, I hope the mic audio is okay. I checked and it was okay. I'm going to answer some very FAQs that I asked on my Instagram a few days ago. I asked you guys to ask me, first of all, it was about my internship in Shanghai, like anything you're curious about. And the second one was ask me anything about, you know, studying and living in China as a foreigner. 稍等一下，为什么我找不到啊? Okay, there's a lot of questions. Okay, about the dorms, right? I go to xjtlu, Xianjiao Liverpool University in Suzhou, and they separate the dorms for international and local students. I'm not sure why, but from my hypothesis, talking to the other Chinese students, is that they want to avoid like culture shock, maybe. The local students, they share like 4 girls in one room, 4 guys in one room, and for the internationals, we have our own bedrooms with our own toilets. But for the locals, they do have to share one toilet as well. I used to live in a dorm, but then I moved out because it got like now it's overcapped, like it's over capacity over there, and if you don't renew your contract, you will get kicked out, which is a huge thing that's happening in the student community lately. But yeah, I just wanted to move out because I wanted to rent my own studio apartment. Let me know if you guys want a studio apartment tour. And if I'm not mistaken, the rent for my dorm last time was around 1,650 yuan per month. And that is excluding electricity, which I estimated to be around 100 yuan per month. How to get a residency and part-time legally in China. Residency, girl, are you talking about like long-term? Like you want a Chinese passport? Like, because if you're asking about that, I actually don't know. sorry, like what I do know is like a student's residence permit. So once you're enrolled in any university in China, you will automatically apply for a residence permit. Like this is compulsory, right? Like your university will guide you through the steps. Like you do have to get this. Okay, part-time legally. As everyone knows by now, working part-time jobs in China is illegal. Part-time would be like, I don't know, working at a cafe, right? As a barista or something. That's illegal. But if you have a working visa, let's say you work at a company, you have a work contract, then that is legal. You do have to apply for the visa to have that special remark on it to say like, oh, you have a off-campus internship or off-campus work. I did that process. Let me put my detailed process on my TikTok. Do you do your internships during do you do your internships during semester break? Yes, I do. Currently, I am on summer break right now. I just finished my third year. That means I am entering my fourth year next sem, and it's June right now. So it's summer break, and my university and most universities in China, they have like around 3 months of summer break. So that's like a perfect golden time to do internships or go vacations, etc. Hi, are internships compulsory in your uni or it's your own want? It's definitely my own want. Like the internship I'm doing right now in Shanghai, I found it on LinkedIn. But my university, they do have a 90-hour work placement, which is a prerequisite for your graduation. This means that you can work anything really, but still somewhat related to your major, and it could be in any country. So it could be in your own home country to fulfill this requirement of 90-hour work. Okay, next, is it possible to do internships in the first year? Yes, but there are buts. Like so many factors come into play. Like for example, like which country are you doing the internship in? Because every country has different requirements, right? For example, in China, it's really hard to work and to get an internship at a company, especially an MNC, if you are not enrolled in a Chinese university. Well, that way, your company would have to sponsor you, etc., which is more complicated. But in Indonesia, I've heard some people already get internships in their first year. But it also depends on your major. Like, are you a STEM major? Are you a business major? From what I've heard, business majors, it is easier to get internships in the first year because, let's be real, like in your first year, you don't know anything yet. Like, why would companies hire you if you're still like inexperienced? That was what a senior told me when I was in my first year. And this was like in a seminar, right? Like she was telling the audience, like most employers, they wouldn't hire 大一大二的学生，因为基本上大一和大二的学生他们的经验不够, like it's not enough, right? Next, any suggestion or advice on activities students in uni should do for better CV for internships? Okay, definitely number one is student organizations. This includes clubs, committees, whatever activities that you have on campus. If you join them as part of the organizing committee, the employer would like that because they could see that you have some project management skills or you have some managing people skills. That's a good point. Number two is definitely extracurriculars. This could include music, drama, sports, anything related to that. For me, I joined quite a lot of student organizations in my second year. And back then, I joined our Sustainable Environmental Club on campus and the Indonesian student community on campus, as well as a marketing internship on campus. I don't know. I did a lot of, honestly, just do whatever you can get because you do need the experience, to build up the CV. And I remember my second year, I literally I did all the random shit you could think of, My food just came. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. I'm gonna continue the Q&A after I eat because I will abandon people for food. I'm sorry. Oh god. They put peanuts in the salad, man. I don't like peanuts in salads. Actually, I don't like peanuts in general, so I love mushrooms though. They gave me a tiny corn. Look at the amount of ketchup that they they give? That's insane, man. That is actually insane. A whole tin. Oh, 谢谢. Mustard, I guess? I haven't had good French fries in a while. Also, something that I want to preface is that I'm not a native speaker of Chinese, but I can speak Chinese well enough to get my current internship, to get my previous internship, and I'm HSK 5. But I find that even though, no matter how high your HSK level is, if you don't practice speaking on a day-to-day basis, it means nothing. And I had to learn this the hard way because, like, when I first came to China, I was HSK 5 in terms of reading and writing, right? Like, I can recognize a lot of characters, I knew how to write, but I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak at all. But to answer this specific question, no. But you do have to be able to speak a certain extent of Chinese. Like, you can't be speaking broken Chinese, like too broken, you know? Like, the thing that I noticed that they're very understanding, the Chinese, towards us foreigners. Like, they understand that it is not our first language, and as long as they can understand what you're saying, no problem. The thing about like interviews and internships, they're just like marketing yourself, right? Like, how do you present yourself? The product that you are selling to these companies is yourself. Like, how can you convince them to hire you? And I feel like if you can master the skill, regardless whether that be in English or Chinese, you will definitely get hired. But okay, that's like a huge statement to say because there are a lot of other factors that come into play, you know, the decreasing economy, the recession, etc., and like an increasingly competitive job market. For my internship last summer, I interned at a medical consulting firm. For the first month or so, I had to learn so many medical terminologies in Chinese because I had to understand the product, right? I had to understand our clients' products, what they are looking for, and how we can help them. I actually just posted a Chinese CV template on my TikTok a few days ago and on my Instagram. So feel free to check that out if you want to know more. Number 1, languages. That's for sure like such an attractive appeal to these employers because at least in the business and tech sector, from what I know, when you develop a business, right, and you want to expand into new markets, whether that be in Southeast Asia or Europe, you do need to hire workers that are somewhat fluent in that market that you're trying to tap into because you need to, because they will leverage that linguistic skill. The more the better, of course, but you have to make sure that you are fluent somewhat in those languages. Like, you can't be lying on your resume, girl. Like, for real, don't do that. 接下来呢，我们有还有一个点就是 if you win any awards or competitions, that's really like attractive as well. I got my first ever internship last summer of 2024 when I was in my second year in Suzhou, and I got it through my campus job fair actually. And I've always prefaced this so many times on my TikTok that honestly the highest possibilities of getting an internship with no scam, right, legally, is campus job fairs. Sorry girl, I got thirsty. Anyways, next question. Do you know what questions usually come up in internship interviews? To be frank, it's a lot of the basic questions like, introduce yourself, right? And why do you want to work for us? Literally just like ChatGPT, the top 10 most commonly asked interview questions. Practice that. Other than that, is actually a lot of the technical related questions. For example, what prior relevant work experience do you have to be contributing in this role? That's number 1. But if you don't have any prior work experience, perhaps you could say something about your previous student committees or organizations. And I usually structure my answers for the questions using the STAR method. I first describe my situation, what I was dealing with, and then I would go to my task. Okay, what did I have to do to deal with that current problem? A would be action. What action did I take? And lastly, what was the result that I achieved? The thing that these interviewers want to see is, are you able to structure and organize your answer on the spot? Because perhaps your job requires you to deal with clients on the spot. Let me remind you that I am still a uni student who's still navigating her way. Like, I seriously don't know what I'm doing as well on a lot of days. So take my advice with a tiny grain of salt because I'm just like you. I am also lost. But it's okay, we can learn from each other, so please feel free to drop in your wisdom down in the comments. I applied for my internship online through LinkedIn, and oh my god, let me tell you, it was a pain in the ass. Am I allowed to say that? But yeah, because the thing about LinkedIn automatic applications, right? Like, okay, I pressed the apply button, and oh my god, the amount of dialogue boxes that I have to fill in for the application, insane. I spent like what 3 hours just like structuring my answers when I know that an AI is probably just gonna read my answers and skip it through, because oh my god. Anyways, so a lot of the dialogue boxes were like, okay, what's your personal motivations? Like, what do you know about this job? Like, can you explain your prior work experiences, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, people, guys, if you have ever applied through LinkedIn automatic system, it's, oh, now this is a very interesting lesson that I want to share with you guys. Networking is so important because you don't know who you can, you don't know who can help you in the long run. So be nice to everyone, but don't be a people pleaser, right? Important, be kind to everyone, but don't let people walk all over you. I just happened to know the senior that I heard she interned at this certain company that I applied for last year. So I was like, I'm not close with her, but I could try talk to her and ask her some expectations that I would have about the job. And so I reached out, and then we were having a really nice conversation, actually. Like, we were sharing each other's internship experiences, when suddenly when I brought up like, oh yeah, I recently just applied to this certain company on LinkedIn, but I haven't heard from them in a week. And then she's like, oh my god, I used to intern there. And then I just asked like, oh, how long did it take for you to like hear back from them? And she's like, oh yeah, around 2 weeks ish. And then she just offered me that, hey, I actually still have the HR contact, her WeChat, so I can ask her for you. Like, I can ask her if she has received my application, because I've applied a week prior without knowing that the senior has interned in that company. Like, this was completely purely accidental. And then I was like, oh my god, yeah, for sure, thank you so much, like, I really appreciate the help. And then literally a week after, I heard back from the employer, and I moved on to the first round of interviews. So seriously, guys, like, don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Get out of your comfort zone. That's such a basic advice, man. The reason why it's so basic is because it's easier said than done. The permit, etc. for the visa, I applied it myself. Like, I had experience applying for the visa last year, so I just followed the same steps. I compiled the same paperwork, and don't worry, like, all the paperwork and etc., the guidance usually is provided by your university. And every province could vary in their regulations. For example, I'm in the Jiangsu province, right? So I follow Jiangsu's regulations. So yeah. Oh, and then like I submitted my paperwork, etc. I went to the EEB, the Exit Entry Bureau, the headquarters in Suzhou, and yeah, took my photo, etc. Submitted my documents. Okay, I think that's it for our Q&A session today. Thank you so much for your questions, and let me know more questions in the comments so that I can yap about it in my next video. I love to yap, guys. I don't know if you've noticed. The thing, I actually really wanted to start YouTube from a long time ago because I feel like I can yap longer about more deeper. I really like discussing social topics, etc. I think my friend should be arriving soon, and I'm gonna go do actual work now. Bye bye.